Yes! We are in New York right now. Nassau Coliseum, last race weekend of the Electrify Race League season.
I was going for the move. Brian Dillard into the lead.
I really like the competition. I really like the challenges. It really makes people step up their game.
There we go. Post toast with the launch. No surprise, out into the lead.
You got to run at 100% because if you run at 90, you're going to lose. If you run at 101, you're going to crash.
Oh, goes down.
ERL, Electrify Race League, and just pushing the boundaries, a new way of racing.
What's good, New York? Let's go!
In New York, there's nowhere to hide. No second chances. For these riders who've journeyed from across the country, the only path forward is through the finish line.
We have made it to New York, our fourth and final stop of the season.
Round 7 here in New York. Beautiful city, never been to New York, so this is the experience alone just coming here.
This is the epic finale, set in the city that never sleeps, where kings are crowned and dreams can shatter on unforgiving asphalt.
This track is a mixture of kind of all the tracks we've had this year.
So you're looking at fast straightaways like San Francisco.
The battle for that second transfer position is tight right now.
You're looking at technical like Long Beach.
Rock Smith going for the pass into the chicane, and he gets it done.
And then you're looking at also a little bit of technical from Phoenix.
Wow. Here we go, into the high-speed downhill, through the chicane, on their way to the hairpin.
The turns and the combinations of high speed and low speed on this one will make it interesting and hopefully more opportunity for passing and good racing.
We added a land rush start. And what that is all the racers line up in a row instead of staggered like most races do.
A single misstep and you're at the back.
Oh!
But nail it right and you're leading the charge.
And Zach Darnell gets that launch.
Brian Dillard looking for an opportunity to pass Zach.
Let's go, New York.
So Rex, Hudson, and I are the only ones representing the West Coast. Unfortunately, there's a hurricane that is kind of affecting the weather this weekend. We hear that it's going to be raining, and some of the guys just didn't want to risk it. You know, it's a long drive for an event to potentially be canceled, so it's totally understandable that they didn't make the trip.
We do have a few guys, Mario Chacon, Hudson Sang, and Ruck Smith.
It's really important that we, show what we got. I'm excited to see what the East Coast has got, and we're in their territory, so if we're not doing well, then what are we doing?
For the riders who made the cross-country journey, it wasn't easy. Miles of highways, hours of restless nights, all for a shot at winning the championship.
50 hours of driving was a great time with the Night Rider team, my electric unicycle team.
Electric unicycles, machines that defy logic, pushing the limits of balance and speed.
They're off, jammed up through that first corner, land rush start.
Max Berger gets the lead off the launch.
The EUC class has arrived in full force, with riders battling it out for a spot on the championship podium.
We added EUC in Long Beach, and that was our first event having the electric unicycles. It's the first time I've ever seen electric unicycle racing, and it was, one of the highlights of the day for sure. We have a lot of those guys who made the trip out here to New York, and it's a big community and a lot of people showing up for it.
Oh, because West Coast right now got it. I can't say that they don't. Right now, West Coast got it, so I'm from New York City, so I gotta put on.
And it's gonna get tight here in that hairpin.
The East Coast, our skill set lies on the street and in the chaos. East Coast is going to show them that our street riding, that practice, it translates right into the track.
No seatbelts, no handlebars, just the rider and the machine fused in motion.
EUCs came about in the community when people were like, I don't want to adjust trucks on a skateboard. I don't want to worry about potholes on the road. You get on an EUC, you got a big, thick scooter tire. Especially here in New York, the roads are rough. A lot of potholes, a lot of things to miss, a lot of traffic to dodge. On an EUC, an electric unicycle, you can literally pivot and change direction based off of like a hip movement or a leg movement. I totally understand and see why EUC is just such a big thing here in New York.
You're falling forward doing a perpetual trust fall. And with that perpetual trust fall, you're allowing yourself to really stay attached to the vehicle
The white flag is out for the final lap. That battle between Joe and Brian heating up for that second place position right now.
The feeling of flying, there's nothing else on this planet that compares to what we're doing on the unicycles.
I never introduce it as a unicycle because the first thing your mind goes to is a clown on a unicycle. You're like juggling balls, like that's what you expect when you hear the word unicycle, totally fair. So I never describe it as that. I just say EUC and then describe what an EUC is because then they have no predisposed like idea of what it could be.
Here we go, coming through the finish line. Back overtaking, we're gonna have a photo finish.
It's been really helpful for me personally, mentally. I've learned a lot through the experiences that I've had with people, like all the experiences and all the good experiences as well.
For some, it's just a machine. But for others, an electric unicycle is a way out. A ticket to escape the grind, the noise, the weight of everyday life. For these riders, the unicycle isn't just a ride, it's a lifeline.
My son had brain cancer, and I just needed to find a way to commute from my work to the hospital without seeing or contact with other people. And I found a meeple board, and riding through the park, a guy got my attention. We became friends, and then the next time we met up, he had a unicycle. I was like, whoa, what is this contraption? And I jumped on it. I was able to ride it for like 10 feet, and I fell in love. I only have one son, and you know, I don't come from a very good family, so like my father wasn't the greatest. So growing up, I wanted to be a good father. And since my son is disabled and can't really walk and talk, it's hard for me to live life to life. It's very difficult. I wake up very depressed, and here it's like all that goes away. I'm sorry, I'm kind of getting emotional, but it's difficult to see your son trying to enjoy life, but he can't. And coming out here, sometimes I bring him out to these events, and he has a blast hanging out with these guys, and everybody gives him attention, and it's just seeing him act like a normal kid. Again, it's great. And all these guys are just always there for like helping me out past that depression and being uplifted, and they're great people.
As the season draws to a close, there's no doubt this tight-knit community will keep lifting each other up all the way until next season. Up next is the E-Skate Pro Class Heat. The pro riders are lining up, ready for their first ever land rush start.
There we go, Post Toast with the launch, no surprise, out into the lead.
That launch is so good.
Followed by James Jensen, Ruck Smith, and then Mario Chacon.
I was just gone.
And Jeffrey Peralta bringing up the rear.
And I knew Mario was right on my ass. He was like, I'll be right behind you. I was like, I know.
I started off immediately like in third or fourth place. I was able to make a couple positions up.
Mario Chacon passing 2 on that back straightaway and tracking down Post Toast right now.
Eventually making my way up to Hudson.
Mario Chacon is still gaining on him though.
The back corners back there is where he knows that's my weakness because it's 2 really sharp hairpins. We went down the first lap, second lap, he took it.
Oh, Mario Chacon into the lead, past Hudson Sang. And then Ruck Smith right behind James Jensen right now, looking for an opportunity, going for a move and getting closed out.
I had to make a few passes and at high speed.
And there we go, he gets that pass past James Jensen.
Coming down the straightaway.
Mario Chacon along that backstretch, full speed, fastest part of the track. Followed by Hudson Sang.
I'm making that hairpin turn here, and as soon as I do, I just see him just like cartwheeling just down the straightaway, smacking really hard.
And Post Toast goes down.
Just slipped out and just wham, right on the ground.
Ruck Smith and James Jensen both passed Mario Chacon, who stands watching the aftermath of Hudson Sang's crash.
Can't really race without accepting the risk of falling because you're pushing your limits.
James Jensen grabs his first lead of the race, but Ruck Smith quickly takes him over, passing him before they hit the next yellow flag.
And yellow flags coming through, boys, yellow flags. We continue this race.
Sometimes you're gonna push just a little bit beyond. Sometimes you save it, sometimes you don't, but if you relax, just let it happen, usually you'll come out with a scrape or 2, but you'll be okay.
There you go, Ruck Smith taking the win, followed by Mario Chacon. And then Jeffrey Peralta and James Jensen. But yeah, thoughts to Hudson saying going down hard over there.
How you feeling, man?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
Are you gonna continue?
Yeah, we're gonna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You got some water? You good?
Yeah, we're gonna get some water.
Okay.
So.
Glad to see that, man.
Yeah.
The pro class point standings have been a battlefield, with the top riders fighting tooth and nail every step of the way. Many couldn't make the trip, but despite it all, Mario Chacon has claimed the championship of the first ever Electrify Race League. But make no mistake, his path to the title was far from smooth.
We saw the birth of a rivalry between Reggie and Mario. We saw them battle it out on day one. We saw an accident in day one. And then day two, we didn't see Reggie for a good 2 hours. We thought he was a no-show. We thought he was a little upset about the way things ended in day one. So we didn't know how to expect day two to go. Day two was even more competitive. Then we go to Long Beach. Long Beach was a different track, different barriers, different people. So we saw some unique races in Long Beach. San Francisco, we saw a couple injuries. Unfortunately, we saw an injury with Reggie and unfortunately put him out of the running. So we don't see Reggie here in New York. We saw an injury in San Francisco that put him too far behind from Mario in the points leader for the championship of the overall season. And Mario is just so far above in points that it's just unbelievable.
Mario is our current leader in the standings right now, with Reggie Thomas and Tucker Johnson behind, who both couldn't make the trip because of some of the storms and things happening across the country right now. But with Hudson saying, I think he's in 4th or 5th right now, right off that podium, he has a chance to maybe get some points and bump up and shake things up on that pro overall podium for the whole series.
I'm currently 4th. I think I'm like roughly 10 points behind Tucker for 3rd overall in pro class. I think I have a good chance of bumping Tucker off 3rd for overall, accounting for the 2 best races. This is the weekend to do it. I think so. We're gonna get that trophy. I see that trophy. It's really enticing.
I feel like having 5 riders in there is gonna make it a lot easier for me, but at the same time, it's less of a flex. You know, I can't say I battled 15 dudes to get up onto the podium. Now I only had to battle a couple. If Rux or Post make one mistake, that's where I'll get onto the podium. But I'll be battling for that.
After this, I have to wait for next year, and I don't want it to be next year. I want next year to start off strong. So I want to be able to end strong here and start off strong the next year.
I better be on podium. At some point, I hope I get podium. Mario's gonna do his thing. I think pretty much 2nd and 3rd place is going to be between the rest of us. It could honestly be anyone's game.
There they go, and Post Toast out to the lead again.
James Jensen almost got it, did a bit of a wheelie.
Rux, Post, and James, that was kind of like the playing field. That's where I was going to look at, okay, where can I make up some time or where can I gain an advantage?
Mario making a double pass on that back stretch up into 2nd place. Passing 2 racers, Ruck Smith and James Jensen. Ruck Smith and James Jensen tight into the corner.
Side by side into the hairpin. Rux goes wide. James stays tight. Is Rux gonna pass James?
Oh, what a battle so far. Mario Chacon right on the heels of Post Toast.
Hudson, he exited wide, and then I tried to immediately kind of attack for the left.
And he makes the move in the 1st place. And Ruck Smith up in the 3rd, passing James Jensen.
Mario makes the pass, so does Rux. Can Rux pass Hudson Sen on the straightaway towards those double hairpins?
Currently, Mario Chacon, Hudson Sang, and then Ruck Smith, your top 3 right now. And Rux is right behind Hudson Sang, trying to find an opportunity. Hudson Sang keeping his elbows out.
I think it was like 2nd or 3rd lap. I was just going down the street and I just see Rux just like coming right next to me. I was like, aww.
And Rux makes the pass right before the hairpin.
He has the inside. He's gonna take it. He's gonna slide around the corner.
Oh! Goes down.
I just a little too hard on the throttle, pushed a little too hard, it just lost it.
Fortunate for Ruck Smith going down in that corner, runaway board.
Mario still in the lead. Hudson Sang in 2nd. James Jensen up to 3rd.
But Mario Chacon in a league of his own again, out in the front.
There he is, getting around that final hairpin. He sees the checkered flag. Here in New York City, Mario Chacon takes the win here in the pro class with Hudson Sang in second and James Jensen in third.
Hudson making his way through the checker, taking second place, and James Jensen with his first podium out here since City E-Skate, doing it for Las Vegas, taking third.
Yes! I did it, guys. I made it on podium. I said I was coming with something to prove. Here, it was only third, but it's okay, it's on the podium. Sorry, I'm excited. I did it though. It's that's like a life achievement. I don't want to say it, but I was like, the only way that I can beat him is if he wrecks.
Oh!
He went down, and I got lucky and got into podium.
Coming in third with his first podium in the ERL out of Las Vegas, Sin City E-Skate, James Jensen!
Hey, third is third. Or like they say in Fast and Furious, a win is a win.
Hudson Sang, who's been plagued by crashes all season, nearly lost his shot at the podium in the chaos of the Ruck Smith wreck.
But no, I braked hard enough and I avoided him and I kept going and I got P2. I got P2.
Out of the bay with his second podium today, Hudson Sang!
Good redemption arc, I'll say.
Today's finish brings him within just a few points of Tucker Johnson in the overall standings. To officially claim third place, he'll need at least a third place finish tomorrow.
And taking home the win, the perennial favorite out of the LBC, Mario Chacon!
Mario topping the leaderboard again in dominating fashion again, but we ended up having a new couple guys on the podium, Hudson Sang getting second, and then James Jensen getting his first podium at the ERL races this year and only his second appearance.
The pro class standings are starting to lock in. Meanwhile, the EUC class remains wide open. It's still anyone's game. The final championship outcome won't be decided until today's main event comes to a close.
I need to get first today to basically place into the top 3. If I win first today, I'll basically be guaranteed into that top 3, so I'm really hoping I pull that off.
My biggest rival at the moment is definitely Show Scott. We have been back and forth in the races throughout the year. So I'm currently sitting in 4th place position overall, and my strategy going into this today is I got second yesterday and just try and hit somewhere in the podium today, and I think that'll maybe give me enough points to push ahead.
Going into this weekend, I was in 3rd place with 26 points behind Brian Dillard, and then Max was in first after having 2 good races in Long Beach and San Francisco.
One person that, has just come out of the woodwork is Mad Max, man. Max it's really exhilarating to finally get to watch him race in person, and to see him come out here today and potentially take another checker. It'll be really exciting to see.
Right now I'm ranked first. I think I have 47 points in EUC Open Division.
A lot of the big players are here today, and it's going to be really cool to see who's actually going to be popping out on top, because anything can happen on that track.
All the racers here, or at least a lot of the top racers, we're all within a second. So it's crazy how much it comes down to shaving down those milliseconds. It's not even a second. It's like shaving down half a second is huge. It's a matter of 1st place and 6th place.
The EUC heats are next. This is their opportunity to fight for a more favorable position in the main heat that will decide the overall championship.
And here we go, racers are going.
I just want to win. During the race, I'll be aggressive and not hold anything back.
You see those red and black Knight Rider jerseys out front. And here we go, you can see Douglas Marshall trailing right behind Show Scott.
Once I have that helmet on, I'm locked in.
Douglas Marshall's kind of falling behind a little bit. Let's see if Show can stay confident through that double hairpin.
I'm in a certain zone and I'll be a different person basically. That state though is kind of addictive.
You can see La Lexina wants to hold on to that 3rd place spot because 2nd and 3rd go onto the LCQ, having a chance to still make it into that final. Top racer from each heat will move straight on to the final and have a spot in that final race.
I've been doing exactly what I want to do in every single race I've been in so far. My time trials, I got pole position. In my heat, I got first.
All right, Show making his way. Checkered flag coming out.
And there
Show.
it is.
So one more step, and that's the last step. So if I complete it, great. I did everything I sought to do today, which would be amazing.
I'm definitely like more in the zone. I'm more in tune today. I'm ready.
And here we go, the EUC Heat Race 2. And there we go, Maxwell Berger gets the launch.
Yeah, my launch was really good. I got in front of second, which was Aaron Doria.
Aaron Doria right behind him.
Coming here, it's like, whoa, like the skill level is amazing.
Max is one of those guys, if he gets out in the lead, he is hard to track down.
Maxwell Berger pulling away from Aaron Doria, gets around the hairpin with zero hesitation, all confidence, all gas, no brakes.
Max putting in a 29.6 on that last lap. Absolutely flying out there.
Here we go. Will Maxwell Berger take that spot in the final? And it looks like he will. Aaron Doria and Roland Latham will take those 2 and 3 spots. There we go. Maxwell Berger, your winner of Heat 2 in the EUC class.
So since I got first in the heat, now it kind of depends on our lap times. So I'm pretty sure I'm either first or second, maybe third.
And Zach Darnell gets that launch with Turbo right behind him. And Brian Dillard right behind. Oh. And Brian Dillard overtakes Turbo.
There was a little scrambling in the front, but it turned out to be really fun. A lot of back and forth action between Aaron and Doug and I, so it was pretty cool.
I was really close with Turbo as well, but it turned out it was just me and Zach kind of fighting it out for about, I believe, like 3 laps.
Zach Darnell still holding on to that top spot, followed by Brian Dillard and then Turbo. Brian Dillard looking for an opportunity to pass Zach.
I think it's a lot more fun. It feels a lot like a drift track where it comes in wide and then it narrows towards the end. So it's pretty fun coming to the chicane in the back. And of course, this hairpin turn right here is just perfect.
My only chance of passing was if I started wide so that I could cut into that inside.
Consistent racing from Zach Darnell right now, holding off Brian Dillard.
And then get him on the inside, and that's pretty much what I was able to do.
Brian trying to find a spot. There he goes, going for the move. Brian Dillard into the lead.
Brian Dillard is all gas, gangster leaning all the way forward. Getting ready for the double hairpin. Can Zach Darnell reclaim his spot at the top spot?
The next lap, he was behind me, so he really gunned it on the finish line. So we almost collided, and we both almost went down.
Zach Darnell is not giving up yet, right behind Brian Dillard.
I'm always okay with hands as long as our wheels don't touch and we both don't go down.
Zach Darnell almost goes to the floor. Brian Dillard makes the pass once again.
We both made contact, but we were able to fix our wheels and get our things going, and I was able to get in front of him again. So that was one of the hardest fought battles I've ever had with any other racer on all my races because it was so close the whole time.
And there we go, Brian Dillard taking that top spot. And Brian Dillard moves on to the final.
Fierce competition out today. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the finals go.
I feel the podium. I feel the podium under my feet. Let's see if I can do 1, 2, or 3.
I'm feeling, what's the word, I guess, cautiously confident. It's going to be a good race.
And they're off. There we go.
I got the jump off the line. Darius had the advantage, but I managed to get a really good start. Got ahead of him, cut him off.
And then I basically landed in third place starting it off. I was like, okay, we'll work our way up.
Wow, the speed is insane through the start of this race. Maxwell Berger still holding a confident first, but still has Aaron Doria right behind him with Darius Arias. Show Scott in fourth.
Is tight up in that top 4. Max still holding the lead. Aaron Doria trying to track him down, but Darius is right behind the 2 of them. Darius making a move, double move.
I was able to get it for second. I'm trying to catch Max.
When we're racing, I don't remember anything until something out of the ordinary happens. So the only things I remember from that race was someone crashed in front of me.
Darius goes down.
Bump out there, kind of like dipped my wheel down into like a pedal scrape, lost traction, completely slipped into like a 90-degree. My buddy ran over my ankle. With how close our times are, one mistake like that, crashing, kills your chance of getting a podium.
Max Berger with a commanding lead. The battle for second is heating up though.
Douglas Marshall and Show Scott fighting out for that second place spot.
Everything else was a blur. I don't remember a thing. It was just autopilot. I was just doing my thing.
Show Scott and Douglas Marshall fighting it out for those remaining podium positions.
There goes Maxwell Berger. There goes Show Scott and Douglas Marshall with Zach Darnell, Brian Dillard, and Aaron Doria.
Joe is trying to make a move for that top spot.
Reacted to how the race was going, basically focused in the moment, reacting to how things go, and the second I saw an opportunity, make the most of it.
Here we go! Oh, Show Scott makes the pass! Show Scott around Maxwell Berger into first.
Can he make it stick through the corner? He can! Show Scott into the lead!
Out of nowhere, Show took me on the outside.
Wow, what a pass. Show Scott has been repping all weekend. You can see the Night Riders repping here in the EUC class.
Max trying to track him down, but Show's lead is increasing. Show Scott, white flag is out, final lap.
Douglas Marshall still maintaining that third place spot with Zach Darnell behind, along with Brian Dillard.
I held second the rest of the race. I was really tired, but I held it in. I got to practice my stamina.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Show Scott, your winner of EUC, with Maxwell Berger in second and Douglas Marshall in third.
The curtain falls on the first ever Electrify Race League National Points Series for the EUC class. Now, as the dust settles, only one can claim the crown.
I think I'm now in either second or third. I need to do the math. Yesterday I got third, so I got a first and third.
Brian Dillard secures third place in the ERL National Points Series.
Up in second place, Joe Scott.
Show Scott would clinch second place, shutting the door on both competitors and his fellow teammates.
The overall national champion of the EUC will win. Maxwell Berger!
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm totally happy. Love everyone.
Just one race remains, the E-Skate Pro Class Final. For Hudson Sang, everything is on the line. He needs a podium finish to overtake Tucker Johnson for third place in the national points standings. But to get there, he'll have to hold his own against heavyweights like Mario Chacon and Rux Smith. It all comes down to this moment.
Let's go.
And there we go, Hudson Sang off the launch. James Jensen behind him, Rux Smith, and Mario. Oh wow, Mario Chacon up to second.
The race started, James takes off, all the guys take off. I'm like, dang, like I gotta figure out how to get ahead.
Mario gaining on him, catching up a little bit in the straightaway. Mario's gonna look to get past him as fast as he can because Hudson has proven to have some defense out there.
Look for an opening, and I just, very similar to how the heat went, I look for the opening on the outside, on this essentially going into the straight to the start finish line.
With Hudson Sang, Mario Chacon going for the pass on the outside, and he makes the pass, heading to the post-toast hairpin.
Mario passed me, I was like, okay, there's no one behind me. I'm just gonna keep it consistent, keep it clean. Mario's not even moving that fast. He's not pulling away. I'm just pacing him.
Now he's going to be hard to catch, but post-toast is the man to do it.
Can James Jensen hold off Rux Smith from the third place spot though? Jeffrey Peralta bringing up the rear. Rux Smith is still behind, tip to tail, with James Jensen, Mario Chacon pulling away from Hudson Sang in the double hairpin.
I wanted to gain some distance, so I kept pushing until I felt like I had a comfortable distance in case I were to make a mistake or something like that.
We're just getting started, beginning the second lap here. Hudson Sang trying to track down Mario Chacon. Here we go, Rux Smith trying to get past James Jensen.
I was behind James Jensen. There's one turn where I was like neck and neck with him. I tried to make a pass, but couldn't do it.
And there we go, will Rux Smith make the pass on James Jensen? James Jensen holds him off around the edge.
Stooge versus Stooge, full speed ahead on that back straightaway. Rux trying to find an opportunity. James keeping his elbows out.
Another section where I was trying to make a pass, but couldn't make it.
James Jensen still holding off Rux Smith. Rux Smith trying to make the pass on the outside. James Jensen knows he's there. He's still holding him off. Wide elbows, wide shoulders. Can he hold him off the rest of the way? Rux Smith off the board. James Jensen still holding on to third.
One of the hairpins, I went a little too wide. I slipped out, and then I tried to get back on the board and just wasted a bunch of time.
Mario Chacon pulling away from Hudson Sang, but Hudson Sang's board and the acceleration that Hudson Sang has is not going to let that happen easily. James Jensen pulling away from Rux Smith.
And I tried to play catch up, and I was making ground, but it just wasn't enough laps at that point.
Mario Chacon in the lead, followed by post-toast Hudson Sang. And then James Jensen in third place right now.
Hold it down, you're almost there, hold it down, and then just finish.
What a season for Mario Chacon. on top of almost every podium in every race. A double racer in 2 classes. Racing 3 today from EUC to mod, and here in pro, Mario Chacon sees the checkered flag.
Making his way through that final stretch, and Mario Chacon with another win in our pro class.
And there we go, Hudson Sang up into second. And there is our podium, ladies and gentlemen. Mario Chacon, Hudson Sang, and James Jensen.
San Francisco was a fail in my opinion. I had a lot of board problems. I fixed all those. I trained really hard. I came here, officially took 3rd both days.
With 2 third places, James Jensen. And coming in second, Hudson Sang.
Mario Chacon remains nearly impossible to beat as he takes yet another win.
Your overall weekend champion for our pro E-skate class, Mario Chacon.
Yeah, initial thoughts is we made it. We made it through the final of the pro class. I'm stoked that it's over.
With the weekend podiums all wrapped up, the question still remains. Has Hudson Sang earned enough points to overtake Tucker Johnson for 3rd place overall?
18 points? I think that might be enough.
Coming in 3rd in the pro division, Post Toast Hudson Sang.
Even though Reggie Thomas couldn't make the New York event, his performance in both Phoenix and Long Beach gave him enough combined points to secure 2nd place overall.
Your overall champion, the Godfather himself, Mario Chacon.
So winning the first inaugural Electrify Race League Championship has been a dream come true. It feels like it's something that I've been working so hard towards for the past 5 years. I put a lot into perspective about myself. I learned a lot about myself and what my board is capable of. I'm stoked that we ended up on top this season, and I'm just jittery knowing coming out to something like this so far in the East Coast that I've never been to. So it's been definitely a dream come true to be a part of something like this.
Mario Chacon is the 2024 Asphalt King. Over the course of the season, he has set the bar incredibly high, possibly to unreachable heights. Mario leaves New York with the crown and a message to all the E-skate riders. Catch me if you can.
The gap does get smaller, but I gotta make sure I stay ahead of everyone who's also closing in on Mario.
This is the most organized event we've ever had in the history of PV racing, and we're very grateful for what Electrify Race League and Electrify Expo have done for us.
I have a lot of praise for Electrify Race League and what they've been able to do, and I'm so excited for what they have in store.
The only reason I started practicing racing, or like practicing at intro hardcore on my wheel, was because of Electrify. And because of that, it got me into it, and it's done a lot. It's got a lot of other people into it.
Oh, I see it being big. This is only the beginning.